Hey, God, you know I'm up. I'm not a king, so I think it's not fair for the people to be here hoping that you come. I know some probably thinking I wrote, they made a choice. They don't believe in us. As I really die war, we need help, hoping that you could come and save us. Trust on us. This a new journey being led by the angels. Putting God first, God blessing our angles. Getting the hate, but still win all love. Us a let the hidden lines come through with labels, holding Bibles.
People who like your friends, they have to be able to turn the ground, and so this is how we are farmers, and you come in as well needing to tend the ground, and in that way that whatever you have planted there seeds, there will come a time where you reap your harvest, right? And but before then, you have to be able to get your hands dirty. You need to get rid of if there are any pests, you need to get rid of the pests, the weeds and stuff like that. And that requires you to go like into the ground, get your hands dirty, get rid of that. Now, pest control and stuff like that, getting rid of the weeds and stuff like that, that is basically your arguments. Where you have your conflicts, right? So you need to, you can't avoid conflicts and arguments, in the sense that if you know that I don't like being late, and we have a commitment, we say we're going out perhaps for drinks at 12, and we have to be there at 12, then you can't message me at 5 to 12 and tell me that you're going to be late, can you move it up by like an hour, so I feel like that's very unfair, and it creates an opportunity for conflict between us, right? So that's like your weeds and stuff that you come across in your garden, basically, and you have to deal with that. But also as a friend, you need to be humble enough to go on one knee and be like, I'm removing this. So how do you remove it in a position of having been wrong? Because it's one thing for me to be like, maybe I know that I was supposed to meet you at 12, and I'm running late with like meeting our commitment. I need to be humble enough to acknowledge that I'm late. I need to be humble enough in acknowledging that you have dedicated a certain period of your time, starting from 12, until whatever, dedicated specifically for us. You see, so I need to be humble in recognizing all those aspects and be like, okay, I messed up, or whatever it is. It could be that I got held up, something beyond my control. I need to be humble enough in coming to you and being like, yo, I'm being held up at this particular place, and communicate in time. I can't just leave it for last minute and then expect you to be okay with it. You understand? So that's why, like, those are characteristics that I'm looking for in like friendship. Someone who's humble enough to go down one knee and tend the ground, ensure that they do their part, even when they mess up, they still show humility. Showing humility through the mess up. I think that for me is a big thing. You can do one massive thing, right? And I will appreciate that. But if you come to me with humility after knowing that you're like, I did something wrong, then that for me would outshine that massive thing that you did, because it shows me that you value
this relationship.
Exactly. You value what I value. And you have taken, because we're two different people coming to attend one garden that we have chosen for ourselves, and saying this is this ground that will work. This is what we call our friendship. So I have my values. I may like to be late. You may like to be early, but I need to suppress my values.
So can meet me halfway.
Exactly. And I need to understand that, okay, just because I like being late and they like being early doesn't mean that now I have to oppose, like I have to impose
Those
my values into you, you know, because I need to meet you where you are. And now, if I don't value being late, you're gonna find me being early. You're right. So I need to understand that. I mean, and just because you love being late doesn't mean that that's a good value to have.
Ooh,
So that's that, of course. So it's yeah, I'd say it's like a combination of all these things that I've said, but I really look in the mindset of are we farmers when it comes to
that is so
friendship?
true.
Yeah.
I think it's so what you just said about like meeting each other halfway and like knowing that you can't impose like your values just because you believe something else. And I think that's where most friendship get lost. There is no communication first of all, where where we communicate in a sense of, okay, I hear you, this is because obviously we grew up differently in different cultures, different backgrounds, different, we were raised essentially different. But now when you come into it's like when you come into a relationship,
Yeah.
you come with your own things, she comes with her own things, and you guys meet and you decide, okay, let's be doing this in the long run. And also I feel like if someone also doesn't have the same vision of like this friendship is gonna last, like this friendship is gonna last entire lifetime. Some people just think friendships are for university level, like we just gonna do it like till university. And how you planting, it's quite interesting. I actually always tell people that I'm planting seeds in the spirit. Like I have a plot, I have mansions, I'm building mansions. I don't know about you guys, but I'm building mansions in the spirit, and I wanna build I want to build an environment where, for myself, where I create a space where if I were to bring my kids, essentially, they would be like, Mommy, you know, you have this friend from high school, your friend is from university, and this is how much you've impacted. Now, this is how much I've impacted your life. So, I think it's very important for, if you have not looked at the friends around you, it's a good time to see who is around you and what are they doing to impact your growth, and what are you doing to impact your growth. Are they inspiring you to be better, inspiring you to change something? And also spiritually, where are they? Because it's very important. Like if you guys literally like believe in the same thing, like believing in God. That also brings to my next question. Like we go to the same church, so I want to know, like, because you know people say, okay, can you explain? Okay, this I'm gonna bring it into two-part question. So we have people, right, that are like, I want to know from a man's perspective, you know, what can you like? Because what? Okay, wait. One thing I like about men, not just essentially like the whole idea of the way men created. I know if a man decides to do something, he will not back down. Like if a man decides, I'm going to church, I'm getting saved today, I'm doing this, he will do it like 100%. Like he will not leave half energy like women. Like when we do something, we can decide we can be fully committed, but it's like, is it the right intentions? As with a guy, if they decide to commit to something and they do it with the full intention. So I want to know in terms of church, like, obviously we all have this phase where we don't want to participate in something, we don't want to go to church. What has been the mindset of I have to go, like even though I don't want to go?
That's a very good question. Because I'll use myself again to make this response. You do get days that are much better than others. I'd say quite a lot factors in the decision going to church, and sometimes it's very subconscious. You know, other times it's very subconscious, and it could be I didn't wake up feeling good this morning. You know, it could be I feel academic pressure. You know, perhaps I came back late last night and I feel exhausted, or perhaps I got into an argument with someone. It got very heated. Now I feel I've lost the enthusiasm for church, and I think I don't think it's church per se, but like
Almost
especially that when I go to church like the evening service, you know. So if something happens during the day, it may or may not impact my decision to go to church. And when it does, it's not that I do not want to go to church, as in church specifically is an issue. It's the event that requires me to step out of myself and let go of whatever it is that I'm holding in. So, like for example, if I have a test on Monday and I have to go to church Sunday evening, and I see that okay, you know what, I'm very I'm very behind with my work, with my prayer. I'm going to skip church. It's not church. Church is basically the scapegoating. It's like I feel like church is getting the unnecessary brunt for this. You know, I don't think it could have been anything. It could have been dinner with a friend. Now I can't go to dinner with a friend because I'm behind with work. But church, because it's that event where when you go to church, you are conscious of what's going to happen. You're going to go to church, you're going to stand, and you're going to worship. You're going to give praise to God, right? And that allows you to, it's like this letting go of your glory for Him, right? It's letting go of your glory and magnifying His. And sometimes we don't want that. We want to be like, this is what I learned recently. Arrogance. Someone who is arrogant, for them to let go of their arrogance, you're stripping away their glory off of them.
Wow.
So I think it's that. So, and now I'm deliberately saying that I have a test tomorrow, I'm behind my prayer. I'm arrogant in the sense that whatever time I've dedicated, whatever time church is, you know, let's say going to church and coming back is like 2.5 hour you know, piece that would take from your schedule. So you saying that instead of going to church for 2.5 hours, I'm going to catch up on my content and be confident enough for tomorrow's test in 2.5 hours. Think about it, yeah, it is possible, but really, no, because in that 2.5 hours, you're working so much under pressure. And so many things can come in just because you've dedicated 2.5 hours for trying to catch up and not go to church doesn't mean that you have isolated yourself from other world issues that are capable of like influencing you. You can get another phone call.
And another thing. And
exactly. You may get another friend who will knock who has something that requires your attention. You may go in a state of like feeling lethargic and be like, you know what, I just wanna, or like so anxious that you know, I just need to step away from.
And then you take those 2 hours that you could have been in church, and getting healed and getting restored and getting all that stuff happening, and now you are like, you are sitting in your room.
And the thing is, church, you know, yeah, shop is a church building, but there's something about
the anointing that is there, like
and like going out and actively seeking God. That you come back different. The 2.5 hours. It's really true. Like this whole thing of if you give God time, He will restore time. It's like
it's magic.
For real. It's like time pauses. And like they're just like additional hours.
It feels like that, and it feels like you can actually retain more. Like it's like
for real. You're so much at peace, and it's crazy how true that is. You know, you just have to see it. I mean, experience it for yourself, where you're like, I'm so much under pressure, and I am going to, you know what, strip myself of the glory that I so much want to hold on to, because it makes me feel like I am in control, or this illusion of control that I have, and I'm going to focus on God's glory. And when you give Him that, and you give Him, because He's aware that it's your time, He's aware that you're anxious, and you give him those 2.5 hours. In 2.5 hours, I'm including the frustration that comes with like driving to church, maybe with the bus or the traffic, or someone cuts you off on like on the road, whatever the case may be. But it's 2.5 hours that you're dedicating to God, you know, where you go and actively seek Him with like His other children and come back. It just takes you to a different state of mind, and it leaves you so revitalized within that the 2.5 hours that you wanted so badly, it feels like, you know what, I'm glad I went to church. Now you can go back to wherever you're studying and be like, I'm going to try and prepare for this test. And you can do it. You can, like, for me, I feel much more confident, even though I would have covered less material. But my confidence grows. So then now I understand that, again, it's not by might, it's not by power, but by the Spirit. Now it allows me to be like, okay, you know what? I'm walking into this test situation. I've covered so much material. I'm a little bit hazy about this section of my work, but
it's the confidence that you walked in.
But you know what? I think I can do this. I mean, it's just a section that I'm hazy about, but I think I can do this. And you sit there and you allow yourself to be like, okay, you know what, God? You know yesterday what happened. You know, I went to church, you know, and I trust in you this moment. I really just trust in you. Help me to remember all that I've studied, but also all that I might have heard.
Through the remembrance, bringing to remembrance.
Exactly. Just help me remember what I might have heard that might be of importance. And He for real does that.
And I think like you could have learned it like first semester, but actually like remember it now. That's like it's magic.
Yeah, it does that. And also, just because you went to church the previous night and you have a test the next morning, the restoration that you get, or like rather the restoration that you have gotten the previous night is not just for the test that you're writing the next night.
It's like literally like everything that was going on in your heart, in your mind, like comes the storms inside.
It goes beyond
the test.
Yeah.
The test is just a physical thing that's happening in the now situation. It's not
precisely.
like
Precisely.
if we take the test out, you know, I always tell people, you know, in the Bible it teaches in Proverbs like wherever your heart is where your treasure is.
Yeah.
Like you will give your time to something that matters to you. Imagine I was putting you were dating your girl and your girl's called, she's like, I'm sick. And you're writing a testimony, you're gonna go because she's sick.
Yeah,
so then what does it have a mark now when it comes to going to church or going to God? It's like, oh no, now I'm going to. And we always look for something to blame in the long run. You'd be like, if you didn't perform the way you expected to perform and you went to church, you're like, it was because of church. It was a change of sequences of events. This Sunday I went to church, and this Sunday I didn't go to church in the past. No. It's just the way you viewed it. That's why it becomes different. It's your perspective. And that brings me to my second last question. I wanted to know what is new like in your life? Like what are the new ventures that you're going into? And what is in store for you as a person like in the next coming year? Like
that's very interesting how you asked that question, like what's something new happening now when this year is coming to an end. So something new within something that's a very interesting way to see it. You know, because just because something is coming to an end,
it doesn't mean that there's no something new starting.
It's very interesting, and my brain actually likes that. Because I would say again, it's like again, like you know that I'm reflecting, right? And like when you're reflecting, it's like very.
Oh yeah, you were talking about your girlfriend, and she's coming.
Oh yeah, so she's coming back in January, and I'm like so excited. And like that's something new for her because us definitely in a sense that I mean,
Sure, she's dating herself.
no, like I mean, it's not something necessarily new that's happening to me as the first person, right? For her as a first person, it's something new, and um,
Or she's in South Africa, or she's.
no, like coming back and having to study without her parents this time.
Oh,
You see, so it's a new experience for her, and granted, now when it comes to a relationship, now I understand how I come because it's new for the both of us. You know that
navigating.
yeah, so now we have to navigate her being in Gauteng and me being here, and just this new experience like what 2024 has to offer. You know, it's new in the sense that it goes beyond the borders of our relationship. I think it's very healthy to look at it in that way that we know that we're going to be together and we focus on long distance, but also what other factors may come into play in 2024 that may affect the relationship. You know, in terms of like work schedules, family time, and what have you. So
yeah, that's true.
So I think now that's something new that I share with a person, and individually, something new that's happening. I would say. Mm,
Texting me more.
Texting you more. I'm so bad on my phone, man. It's
It has to be a new thing. Cause wow, guys, this yo.
I really try, but I'm so bad. I think I've degraded so much. Like my appetite for my phone has like just decreased tremendously as time progressed. You know, and then yeah, it's really weird how much I don't really spend.
Interact with your cell phone.
Yeah, with my cell phone, and sometimes that irritates my girlfriend because I mean it affects communication. But it's weird for her. Like I would, especially when she's active and online, then there's a lot of interaction that happens. But I know that when I'm not interacting as much as she would want me to, then yeah, so that doesn't make her happy. I think.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is happy when you don't interact. Hey, it's like.
Like I really try.
Sometimes I feel like you live so much in your own world that you forget that other worlds exist. Like it's good to be a main character in your story, but like be a main character to other people's stories, essentially.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But it was really good having you here today. And the last question is a bit of like a closing thing that I always do. Obviously you have a girlfriend. I was gonna ask if you have a girlfriend, but we're gonna ask what is the most fun thing you've done in Porch? Like
That's the most fun thing.
if you actually do go and do something fun.
I'm such a dry person.
Yes, you are.
I'm such a dry person. I would say
Going to Wimpy with me and Jose at the time.
I mean that was definitely fun, of course. Like at midnight. Yeah, I mean I had breakfast at midnight. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
We wanted breakfast
Yeah.
at midnight. Yeah.
Could you hear you guys?
That was really interesting. I definitely have to say one of my best experiences. You know.
Yeah.
But I would say. And you know, you had me there. I don't know. I'm such a dry person. I don't know.
No, I think you need to, like, after we get up, we need to have a bucket list, like things you should do in Porch. I'm gonna help you, right? I'm so in for, like, I'm a very adventurous and spontaneous person, like, so yes, please do have a bucket list, things to accomplish in Porch before you leave. And what would you like to say to the audience, like anything you just wanna tell them that you know, that's on your heart?
Well, guys, look, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this interaction. I know that I for one am deeply impacted by what I'm having in my life, and to be brought in for such a moment is a huge honor for me. I'm quite grateful, and her content continue to support her, continue to encourage her. You know, it's very important that we give love to our sister, to our friend, as she's really just embarking on this journey and trying to trying to come out with something positive to give back to the world. And I think with just the love and encouragement, she will definitely go far. It's not easy to do what she's doing, and so I'm really thankful to be a part of this experience. I didn't know what I was working myself into.
I cannot believe it.
That's how nonchalant I can be sometimes. I got a text from her and I was like, cool, let's do this. And then I didn't ask any other questions except for like about 2 hours before this whole segment.
Oh, in my mind, I thought you knew, like.
No. But like I really wanted to really support her, so just continue to spread the love and appreciate her. And yeah, thank you to you for being you, for tuning in and giving yourself an opportunity to just decompress. And yeah, it's an honor.
I couldn't have closed it better than you did, but yeah, guys, you heard it from him, and thank you for tuning in. And I'm very excited for the way that this year's ended, and to go and reflect, as he said, look at your friendships, your relationships, how they're farming or how you are farming as a person. And I am very excited to see you guys again. So let's sip on another episode. See you next time. Bye. That was it.